Mr. Blade Boquest, sir, is it possible to have, I'm like new to the game, is it possible to have 2 workers on one node? Because I really want I really want to try to gather extra resources. No, that's not possible. No, you can't do that. So why do you have 2 workers on Ancient Stone Chamber? This is the 2 workers, 1 node ruined gaming for me, my Twitch career, but I won't let it ruin my life. And he actually is talking about me in this video. He doesn't name me, but I did want to address it so that he understood that what my exact the situation is with this. The Godfather of BDO. Yeah, I love Blade. As I'm going to explain in the video. But I don't think that Blade, I think that Blade feels a little bit betrayed with how I've portrayed things. So we're going to talk about this. Okay, so this is Blade Boquest. For those of you that don't know, he was the largest content creator in Black Desert's category when BDO released in the West and started kind of its campaign for us. He was our first like really large content creator. And he was involved in like a really big controversy over having 2 workers on 1 node, as it says here in the title. And I'm gonna let him explain it.
9 just resubscribed.
I'm gonna let him explain this. It's a Chad title. Yeah, so like let's listen to Blade's take on this. He's given his take on this 100 different times, and I've given my take on this situation. I think he's a little upset with me.
This was going to be a video just for my Discord announcements, but I'm putting it on YouTube just so I can be tracked better. So basically, I'm creating a channel inside my Discord. It's under the hobby section. And
thanks, the UK.
It's called 2 workers, 1 node venting. Now, I'm probably going to be using that primarily to blow off some steam, post some old screenshots and all of that. But I'm inviting you guys into the conversation one more time, where if you guys have any questions that you're not sure of, like why was there a blue worker? Did he have green workers? Why does he claim he didn't see this? Did he get banned multiple times for the same?
Jesus Christ, I can't believe we're talking about this in 2024 is insane. Okay, for those of you who don't know what this controversy is, he's talking about, you know what? Why don't we just watch the Morlin video? Fuck it. Here it is. Okay. Fuck it. We're gonna give context to this whole thing. This Morlin video is kind of like the big thing that came out. I can't believe that I have to watch this in 2024, but it is what it. Here we are. I think that a large reason, I'm just gonna say it now. I think that Blade, this was not a super big deal. It was a big deal at the time, but like, let's be honest, guys. How big of an impact do you think having 2 workers on 1 node actually is? Just be honest with yourself. How much do you think a player can really get ahead having 2 workers on 1 node? Like, is it really big? Times 2, I get. Jesus. Is it really that big of a deal, right? Like, negligible. Yeah, like what are we talking about? Like, at the time, people got out their pitchforks and people were upset about it, but like, let's be honest, most people probably didn't care too much. Like it was like it blew up on Reddit and it went through like a content cycle. People made videos about it and then it kind of blew over. The person who constantly brings this up is Blade. Sincerely, I do think that Blade was the instrument of his own demise, right? He was the orchestrator of his own demise on this because he just constantly talks about it and not in a fun way that's just like, oh yeah, maybe I'll just put 2 workers on 1 node, you know, like, or anything crazy like that. I believe that there was a similar incident with Fake Uniform. If you guys remember Fake Uni back in the day, a lot of people did not like Fake. After he was a huge, like Fake blew up in the category. He was quickly becoming the largest content creator in the category, both on YouTube and Twitch. And then he went through this big thing where he like did this big I'm quitting stream. And like made this big blow up video, like I'm quitting BDO, blah, blah, blah. And he blew up all of his gear and like threw it away. Okay. And then, like, after he realized that New World sucked, because that's what happened. It was like a New World thing, right? this is not like me going to play Throne and Liberty, guys. I still have all of my gear and shit. Okay, let me just be clear. I still have all of my gear and stuff, and I still plan on absolutely playing BDO and stuff. Like, I haven't like shanked my account or anything. Like, this is completely different. This is like he literally blew up his account, threw shit away, made videos about it, farmed content off of it, and then like a few weeks later decided to come back to the game, and he put in a support ticket and got all of his gear back. And people got really upset about that. Like, really upset. And he struggled with that for many years until not too long ago, he asked me for advice, and I'm not going to take full credit for this, but I did advise him. I was like, dude, you just need to embrace it. You need to hit it head on and show people that it doesn't bother you that they're talking about it. Okay? And they will shut the fuck up. And he did that with his thumbnails, his titles. He farmed them for content in his videos. Like, he rage baited them. And like, eventually they realized, oh shit, he's just moving on. He doesn't care. And now it's like a part of Blade's content, kind of like how Zero can make fun of me for being fired as a teacher. Right? Like, that's totally fine. Because I've embraced it, right? Like, you just have to embrace this kind of stuff. And I think that if Blade had done the same thing and just kind of stopped talking about it, he probably would have been fine. But like, he just never stops talking. Bro, it's 2024. We're like 7 years after the fact, 6 years after this happened, or 5 years after it happened. This video is 7 years old, chat. 7 years ago this happened. 7 years. Okay? Like, we're still talking about, like, what are we doing? Like, I tried to tell Blade, like, Blade started streaming in the category recently, like every once in a while, and I fully supported him. Fully supported him, regardless of whether or not he put two workers on one node intentionally is irrelevant. This dude created content that got me into BDO. Like, it's Blade Boquest's guides that I initially watched and had fun with and taught me the game. His Dark Knight guide, this guy's Dark Knight guide, Dark Knight guide video Blade Boquest. Okay, there's my guide, and then here's his guide. 7 years ago, 251,000 views. This is the first Black Desert video I've ever watched, and you can see I've watched it, right? Because like it's already like it's already watched. Like, this is the very first Black Desert video I ever watched, and it's because no one else would make content for it, right? You rated him not too long ago. Yeah, I love Blade. But here's the thing. I was a huge supporter of Blade Boquest back in the day. Okay? I love Blade. I was a subscriber to his content, and he taught me how to gather sheep. He taught me how to do all kinds of stuff. Now, a lot of people accuse Blade of like manipulating the market and making videos about things he didn't want to do, right? Which he probably did, let's be honest. But like, I never cared because like no one would ever show me the systems of the game, and Blade would show me the systems of the game. Like, people accused him of being like this really closeted, like he would never share his secrets about how he was making money and stuff. And I don't really fault him for that. I just wanted to play BDO, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Blade was one of the only content creators that taught me how to play the game back in the day. So the two workers, one node thing, I'll be honest, as someone that watched almost all of Blade's content back in the day, I thought he was guilty. Because Blade Boquest was known for being the most anal retentive. This guy wrote the book on worker empires. Okay, my worker empire today, 7 years later, doesn't hold a candle to what Blade did with his worker empire. He would roll the individual skills on his workers to be like picture perfect, frame perfect skills, so that he could like perfectly manage everything all the time, right? Like, he was meticulous about how he managed everything. So for somebody to claim that they were negligent, you know what I mean? Like, this negligent with their workers, as Morlin is about to explain, is a little bit far-fetched. Now, there's no evidence that says that there's no way to prove whether or not he did it or didn't do it. This is strictly my opinion on the matter. Okay? And like, I just, as a viewer, I was like, yeah, bro, he did that. Yes, whatever, though. I don't give a f. It's like, whatever. Right? It is what it is. Now, I'm going to let Morlin explain it a little bit more for you guys, and I'll let you guys make up your own mind. But I would encourage you to understand that Blade made hundreds of guides and like thousands of hours of content for BDO that like were formative for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. He's the DK OG. No, Blade didn't really play DK. Blade did not play DK very much. He played DK when it came out because it was like the hip class that everybody was playing, but he was a warrior main. Just plain and simple, he was a warrior main. So I want to say that I'm fairly certain that Moreland in this video, he presents both sides of the argument, and he says at the end, I think he's inclined to believe that Blade is telling the truth, that he really was, like, it was an accident, and he f***ed up, right? Blade's entire take on this whole thing is he had 2 workers on one node. He was caught on stream doing it. It happened not once, but 2 times. He was banned for this and then unbanned immediately. Like, he was caught twice for it, and the second time he was caught on stream, and Blade's entire, like, argument for this is that he didn't know, and he was negligent, and he's just an idiot, right? Like, he just didn't realize it. And, like, so Moreland's gonna lay this out for you. We need to watch this real quick to give context, and then we'll watch the Blade video.
When I started planning this video a few days ago, I was intending to open with something along the lines of, this is just a drama video with no useful information. If you don't care about video drama, you may want to move along.
And I would say that 7 years later, I would say that this is also accurate for my video. Okay.
But this whole incident has now sort of transcended what happened with Blade Bocquez and provided us instead with some troubling insight into Kakal's competence as a publisher. This isn't the first time that Kakal has demonstrated a lack of knowledge of...
Okay, let him talk. Because, like, I'll be honest with you, if anyone should have been mad at anybody for this entire 2 workers, 1 node situation, it should have been everybody should have been mad at Kakao. As mad as you guys are at Pluribus for how they're handling the game currently, Kakao was probably the worst managers I've ever seen for any game I've ever actually played. And that's why Kakao games can f themselves. I hated Kakao when they were publishers for Pluribus. I hated how they managed their game, how they handled support tickets, and I also hated how they left the game. They were just horrible at everything. Their partner program was terrible. From a creator standpoint, from a player standpoint, their servers were the worst we'd ever seen. You think the servers are bad now? Holy shit. Like, it was insane back then. And then when they left, when they dropped publishing for the final, like, 2 weeks that they were holding service, they never answered a single support ticket, didn't care about cheating, and they let the servers just crash, like, all the time. Like, we couldn't play. The game was completely unplayable for, like, 2 weeks, right at the end. And they didn't care about any of that. They legitimately just didn't care. They're just like, I hate it. It just rubbed me the wrong way with Kakao. Anyway.
About the game, from strange answers on support tickets to clearly incorrect and unchecked patch notes. They certainly had their share of embarrassments already, but nothing quite on the level of what we've seen unfold over the last few days. So let's go over the last few days and talk about exactly what happened. The catalyst, for those of you who are missing the context here, is a post on the BDO subreddit.
Here it is, bro. And I remember I saw this live. Okay, I was in this chat. It's a shame he doesn't have his chat there, because you would see a young Blue Squadron. And I will say that the chat literally baited him super hard on this. They, like, the guy in the chat was deliberately trying to f him here. They raised their hand. It was like in a classroom. Excuse me, Blade,
Grille
sir?
just resubscribed for 3 months.
Welcome back for
Keep
3
it up,
months.
my shining knight.
Grille, welcome back for 3 months, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This guy, like, raised his hand and he goes, Mr. Blade Boquest, sir? Here, you know what? Mr. Blade Boquest, sir, is it, possible to have, I'm, like, new to the game. Is it possible to have 2 workers on 1 node? Because I really want, I really want to try to gather extra resources. And Blade was like, wait. Blade was like, I'm putting Blade over here. Blade was like, no, that's not possible. No, you can't do that. So why do you have 2 workers on Ancient Stone Chamber? Okay, so, like, that's all, bro. It was literally that guy. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He walked him straight into it, and you can see Blade's face. Let me just show you Blade's face. You guys can't see it. Okay. All right. Like, that's where we're at. Okay. Like, like, come on, bro. he looks caught, you know what I mean? And like I was like, oh shit, bro, he about to eat it. He about to eat it, bro. He's about to eat it. He's dead inside. The reason he's dead inside is because he's already been banned once for this. He got banned twice for this. He got banned once initially, and then Cacao said, oh no, he appealed it. And then Cacao said, oh no, we messed up, sorry. And everyone was like, okay. And then he got caught this time on stream with it, and it looked really bad. It looked bad. Even as a Blade supporter, it looked rough. You know what I mean? So like, that's just the context of the screenshot.
Reddit titled "Working as Intended" by Devok1 early in the morning of July 11th. And in the post, you can see how Blade apparently has 2 workers.
Yeah, and like, so you can't see it. It's a little blurry, guys, so I'm gonna explain it. Like, there's both these workers are at Ancient Stone Chamber. One is a level 30 artisan worker, the other one's a level 30 skilled human worker. And I want to point out that every single other worker that Blade BoQuest has is artisan level 30. Okay, artisan level 30 workers. Now, I am also a pretty anal retentive about my worker empire, and I have 113 workers. They're all level 40 now because it's been changed, but like, you can see this, right? And I scroll through here, and you will notice that even someone like me, and I am not as anal as Blade was, they're all artisans. They're all artisans. Isn't this like 8-year-old shit? Yeah, but he just made a video about it, so I'm giving context.
On Ancient Stone Chamber, something that is not possible through normal gameplay.
Yeah.
There's only one node at the chamber, the excavation node, and you can see 2 workers working it here. So basically caught red-handed here using apparently a bug in the game. In addition to this screenshot, there's also a clip where he goes,
Let's be honest, 2 workers, 1 node is like the most useless exploit, like damn mine crons or something. Exactly, dude. Like, who cares, bro? So he got some extra trace of earth, is ultimately, or trace of ascension and stuff, that is what this boils down to, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. Like, dude, like, what? So what? He could make some extra like pure iron ingots, or like the pure iron crystal or whatever. Who gives a fuck, bro?
goes through his entire worker empire. And we see some things in addition to the double workers that are very strange. Let's just go through this real quick. So there's a green worker there on Lynch Farm Ruin.
Yeah, see, there's a green worker here, professional worker here,
another one on
green worker here, and they're level 30. And they have all 3...
Rushdie just resubscribed for 2 months.
And they have all 3 promotion attempts available. And I just want to point out that, like, for example, what's really weird about this is that this guy... Oh, sorry. This guy is level 28, skilled worker, but he's already tried both promotion attempts. Or he's tried at least 1 promotion attempt, and he hasn't used the last one yet. Right? He hasn't used the next one yet. So, like, he's clearly on top of most of his workers pretty frequently. Like, you can see Blade is, like, really anal retentive with his workers. And Ancient Stone Chamber back in the day was the most important node in the game. It was one of the most important nodes in the entire game because it was, like, the only way to get Trace of Earth. Or it's one of the only ways to get Trace of Earth back in the day. And so, like, yeah.
Farm. And then this one here really stood out to me, a level 30 human worker on Southern Cianaga. So,
yes, see, that's a problem too, right? How does someone as anal as Blade have a level, god damn it, I keep doing that, a level 30 green worker? Guys, how many of you guys have green workers that are hardcore sweats about BDO? It's so weird. And even if this was 7 years ago, Blade is like the leading guy on this.
The idea that someone like Blade would have green workers at all is very strange, especially level 30 unpromoted ones.
Trace of Savagery? No, we're talking about Trace of Earth. I believe it was Trace of Earth and Trace of Ascension, but it was this node right here. It's all Trace of Nature now. But like, it was Trace of Earth back in the day. Trace of Savagery is this node here. You're thinking of it Lynch Farm Ruins. Okay, we're talking about Ancient Stone Chamber.
But especially the idea of a green worker on Southern Cianaga.
Ascension? No, but it was the Trace of Earth. I'm trying to say it's the Trace of Earth that people really cared about.
I remember seeing an artisan worker on Southern Cianaga way back in the day in another one of Blade's videos.
No way.
And I went ahead and dug that up for you guys because I knew I remember.
Stop! Stop!
seeing this, and sure enough, in one of his older videos where he talks about node income, you see an artisan goblin on Southern Cianaga.
Stop it. He pulled up the receipt. Stop.
So, how did he go from having an artisan goblin on this node to having a level 30 unpromoted green worker? It's just such a strange...
Okay, so you guys see why people painted Blade in a bad light for this. Okay, you guys see why they painted, like, because it looks sussy as... Can you prove that he did it intentionally? Absolutely not. It could have absolutely been an accident. But me as a third party, and I was just a viewer at the time of Blade's content and loved it. I was like, yeah, he looks guilty to me, but I don't really care. I'm going to keep watching him. But like, and I shared this opinion on stream because I don't like lying to you guys about how I thought or I'm not afraid of what I thought about this kind of stuff. This is just genuinely my thoughts on stuff. It just doesn't matter.
Series of events. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, there's got to be another explanation here. There's no way Blade is this bad at managing his workers, but the only two explanations available are either he really is that bad at managing workers, or...
This dude wrote the guide on worker management. This guy wrote the book on worker management. He taught everyone how to do workers back then. He was like the guy for this, okay? How bad was the 2 workers 1 node affect the marketplace back then? Did it crash the system? Did a lot of people do it? No, there were not a lot of people doing it. I was playing the game, right, back then. There were not a lot of people doing it. It had 0 effect on the marketplace overall. And like, they marginally got, like, you'll see.
What if there's
you'll see
additional
like,
reason why
they explain how much silver they removed from the account?
These workers can't be promoted? Now, Blade's explanation for this is that they were extra
Laughable.
workers from the server merge last year, but come on, why would any decent player still have so many useless, easily replaced workers from 9 months ago, regardless of where they originally came from?
Yeah.
We know for a fact that Blade was banned for this exploit once before back in May, but Kakao reversed the bans with this statement from PM Juska.
After additional data sources were collected with the assistance of the developers, our team was able to refine initial data utilized in the analysis and investigation.
I'm going to add something to the content here.
For potential participants in the node and worker exploit issue. As a result of this new information, we were able to identify that regrettably some false positives did make it into the initial ban wave. This issue has since been corrected and the affected parties have had access to our services restored. We sincerely apologize for any inconveniences this may have caused. And thank you for your patience while we review each case.
And the part they left out, as far as we can...
This is the most clown GM-CM team I've ever fucking seen in my life.
...tells that apparently everybody who was caught in this ban wave had their service restored. I'm not aware of a single person who actually got in trouble back in May, but I do know many people, Blade included, who were unbanned. It seems like Kakao realized there were some false positives and decided better for the guilty to go free than for the innocent to go punished. Regardless, it seemed very unlikely at best that Blade, someone who practically plays this game for a living, would not notice that he had 2 workers on the same node for over 1,000 work cycles, something like 3 to 4 months of continuous, uninterrupted workloads for these 2 workers, especially after being banned for this exploit once before. We're basically left with 2 exploits.
This is 100% on Blade. If it is negligent, it's still on, it's not 100% on Blade, but it's still somewhat on Blade, okay? Because let's be honest, if you make your living off of BDO and you get by Kakao once for having 2 workers on 1 node, what's the first thing you're gonna do when you look at your worker empire again? You're gonna make sure there's not 2 workers on 1 node so it doesn't happen again, right? Like what are we talking about?
Explanations. A,
do it again.
Even after being banned for exploiting nodes, he still didn't even bother to check his node empire after getting back into the game.
That's what I'm saying, Marlon. Exactly that. Like, what do you mean you didn't check?
Or B, he went through and cleaned up his entire worker empire, but just missed this 1 node in the process.
Also possible.
Additionally, I got a very...
Unlikely though. Pre-watched. Yeah. You're so stupid, Red. I hate you. But like, unlikely, right? Because it's ancient stone chamber. It's an extremely important node. But like,
bizarre correspondence from Blade in response to calling him out on stream, in which
this is bullshit, bro. I don't ever get to text content creators. Although this looks like it's like a Twitter thing or some Facebook shit.
he claimed that he now had learned how the bug worked and that it wasn't related to having unpromoted workers. Apparently, this bug occurred when you sent a worker to a node until they ran out of stamina, and then sent a different worker to the same node until it also ran out of stamina, and then both workers sitting at 0 stamina, next time you fed and refreshed, would simultaneously go back to work.
So that's how it works. That's how it works. If you were negligent enough about your workers that you let them run out of stamina, you could assign another worker to that node. And then when you repair it all and then refresh, they would both do it. Time to try it, Ronan. Sicker.
This immediately raised 2 red flags. First of all, we just established that both of these workers had been on the node non-stop without running out of stamina for 3 to 4 months straight. So I'm supposed to believe that he had an artisan human run out of stamina on Ancient Stone Chamber, something that takes about 50 hours of neglect to occur, followed by having a skilled human also run out of stamina on Ancient Stone Chamber, something that would take another 50 hours of neglect to occur, only to immediately be followed by 4 months straight in which neither of these workers ever ran out of stamina again.
It happens to me all the time. To a normal player, yes, but that's what makes this weird, right? To a normal player, yes, it could happen to us any number of times. But like to somebody that is literally writing the guide on this and is like teaching people about the game and is like living off this, you have to understand how crazy in-depth Blade was. Blade had spreadsheets of what he kept in wagons. Y'all don't understand. You guys, hardcore players nowadays, y'all don't get this shit. Y'all just don't get it. Let me just show you what a hardcore player looked like back in 2017. Okay, let me just explain this to you, all right, so that everybody understands exactly why the fuck this is kind of sketchy. Okay, everyone had spreadsheets, and you couldn't necessarily just go buying a bunch of storage in your towns. Did I miss it? I did not. Okay, it's that not every day I come down to Glitch, but for this, I'm gonna explain. Now, I just moved one of my wagons away from Glitch, but if you look at Glitch right now, I just moved my wagon. Okay, I will just demonstrate by showing you, this is cooking, this is the medical frigate, this is blue group, right? I had all of my wagons named blue 5, blue 4, traces, elixirs, right? Tools 2, tools, Calpheon City, right? Old vent stuff, gems, right? I would literally label all of my wagons, and then I had a spreadsheet that told me what was in each and every wagon, right? Every single wagon had like a purpose, and there was an item in it, and like that's where you stored shit. There was no find feature. Control F, this didn't exist, right? You couldn't buy storage in every city, right? You couldn't do that. Like you didn't have the money, you didn't have the wherewithal to get all of this storage in these cities like this. And nowadays, they kind of give it to you for free with loyalties and stuff since Perlibus has taken over. It's been way, way, way easier, right? But like hardcore sweats back in the game day, guys, make hardcore players nowadays look like casuals. Okay? Blade was one of the most hardcore players I've ever seen in Black Desert's history. He's just such a... He was a staple for the community. It was just him. So like, again... I personally find it a little far-fetched that this is negligence, but it absolutely could have been negligence, right? Regardless, as a content creator, you don't get the privilege of living in a court of law. Do you think that I get the privilege of people living, like, do you think that it's lawfully okay for people to call me all the things that they call me? No. You live in the court of public opinion. And a lot of people looks like it looked to a lot of people, it looks like you're guilty. And so a lot of people are going to think you're guilty, regardless of how many times you try to explain this and how much evidence you try to present. You could have it black and white, Blade. You could have it black and white. There's still going to be people that believe that you were guilty. It does not matter. It doesn't matter.
It just wasn't even remotely good enough of an explanation, especially when he came right out and said that the reason he was offering me this...
Did he ever apologize? No. He never apologized. He never admitted wrongdoing. He said it was all an accident.
Just resubscribed for 4 months. Blue Squad banger.
In fact, he even made a video. If I go to here, now we're gonna. So there should be a video on his channel that. Yep, right here, and you can see I've watched it. My interview with the PA CEO in California, Perlibus Blade Bookquest. And to be clear, this is Perlibus America CEO. That's JJ. We all know JJ, right? Everybody knows JJ. JJ's a sweet woman. She's no longer the CEO of Perlibus America because she moved on to NCSoft. Money. Yeah.
Jaggins just resubscribed for 4 months.
But like,
Blue Squad banger.
He interviews JJ. Who is no longer CEO of Perlibus America, but like I said at the time, she was. And JJ apologizes to him, and like all of this stuff. But like, and he thinks that this kind of absolves him. You know what I mean? And the simple fact of the matter is, A, I didn't care enough. To be honest with you, in my opinion, I think that Blade let this ruin his career. I sincerely do, because he just can't stop talking about this shit. Like, he could have the most evidence in the world. It is what it is. Like,
explanation is so that I would know the bug wasn't related to having unpromoted workers, which is one of the most suspicious things that we had spotted on his account so far.
It's suspicious, yeah.
So at this point,
again,
I became even more convinced that unpromoted workers were part of the bug, and that Blade was just trying to cover his tracks. By now, there had been a few good theories about how to set something like this up, and all of them involved a certain amount of setup that would be difficult to repeat, which explained why you would hold on to subpar workers rather than going through the trouble of promoting them and then setting up the glitch all over again.
Logically, in my head, the only reason that he would have traded workers on a node is because he was like, okay, so this artisan human that was on Southern Cianaga or whatever, right? Like Marlon showed before. Okay, well, maybe he thought that that worker would be better on a different node, right? Which proves 2 points. One, it proves how the workers could have been switched and how he could have ended up with a green worker that hadn't been promoted yet. And two, it also proves how anal retentive he was about changing his worker empire regularly. So it kind of proves and hurts his argument a little bit. Like that's my thinking on it, at least.
Besides, there was another exploit in which you could adjust the clock on your PC to speed up your workers. Yes.
He's not joking. That shit was crazy. People were in all sorts of time zones. People in all sorts of time zones, guys. Like,
some serious, that really was a bug in the game.
Yep.
So perhaps by combining these two exploits, it didn't matter if the workers were from a lower tier. Anyways, July 12th, patch day comes and goes with the same continuing drama. And then on July 13th, CM Yukamura makes a post on the forums.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Cue the music.
Saying that the patch which supposedly corrected this bug 2 months ago was not properly applied, including a failure to reset the workers involved. This again struck me as a possible explanation for using green and blue workers. If the bug was fixed, but the workers were not reset, maybe Blade didn't have a choice of which workers to use. If he stopped them to promote them, their repeat action would be changed, and it would no longer be grandfathered into a bugged state which was no longer possible. But at this point, we also started to see some bizarre action on the part of Kakao. They decided to permanently ban only 3 people, while handing a slap on the wrist punishment of only 72 hours to the other 40 users involved, including Blade. This is quite a weak response to people who are purposely exploiting the game and sends a clear message to the general player base that exploiting in BDO is okay as long as you don't get caught with extremely high value gains, whatever that means. It just doesn't make sense. This sort of exploit is akin to duping, and duping is one of the worst offenses a player can commit in an MMORPG. Surely there's no gray area here. If they did it on purpose, they deserve a permanent ban. If they did it on accident, they should not be punished at all. There's just no room for a 72-hour punishment for...
I'll be honest with you, I think that permanently banning people because they had 2 workers on one node is like wild. I think that everybody should have just gotten a 72-hour suspension. You roll back the silver that they gained from it, take all the shit off their account, and it's fine. Like, I legitimately don't, like, bro, like, 2 workers on one node is a joke.
For this sort of offense, anyone who plays the game should be able to tell the difference when looking at an account's logs. But we'll come back to that a little bit later.
Logs?
I sent out a tweet expressing my disappointment with the 72-hour bans and got a response the next day on July 14th in the form of a direct message from the official NAEU BDO Twitter.
Oh god,
the important part here is the second paragraph where he says,
after careful investigation of all the accounts involved, our customer support concluded the players gained resources and items by using game mechanics in an unintended way. This could not have been performed accidentally, and I'd like to stress that their investigation was extremely thorough.
So, boom, there.
This is insane, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
There it is. Case closed. It's over. Blade's a cheater. They're all cheaters. Get your pitchforks, except you're actually not going to believe
what up, Hatsu? How you doing,
happens next. July 15th, a new wave of emails are sent out to everyone who got banned. These emails contain the same copy-paste that I received in DMs the day before about how this could not possibly have been done on accident, with an additional line at the bottom tallying the exact amount of silver that was removed from the account. It's unclear how they came up with these numbers, but presumably they're just converting whatever materials were gained unfairly into the current market value.
This is stupid for 2 different reasons. This is why I hated Cacao when they did it. 8.5 million. That's where we're at, guys. Do you see how inconsequential this shit is? 8.5 million silver. Okay, even back then, that was maybe an hour of grinding. Okay, like maybe an hour. All right. We're talking about permanently banning people because they literally got an extra 8.5 million silver. And to be clear, some of them could have been doing it on accident, Blade included. Like, what are we talking about? I banned them for less, but that's why, Verdict, that's why you're not in charge of anything. Right? That's why we don't put you in charge of anything. But like, also, I think that this number is extremely disingenuous. I just want to be honest about this. The resource that they're collecting is Trace of Earth in this case. And so if you get back in the day, if you got 8.5 million silver in Trace of Earth, you could turn that. It wasn't about the Trace of Earth's intrinsic value. I believe it was only worth about 53,000 silver on the marketplace back then. Each individual Trace of Earth was worth about 53k or so back then. And I could be misremembering, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But like, it was what you could use the Trace of Earth for. It was the limiting reagent and a lot of the alchemy recipes that allowed you to make a lot more silver. Try 10k. Okay, so even if it was 10k, my point is, it had a lot more value than what it was worth on the marketplace, which is what they're listing right here. Okay, so like, there is an element of this that I think that the CMGM team, which is Cacao at the time, not Burlebus, does not understand. And that's like, oh, well, we just took the shit off their account and negative balanced the silver. Well, that's not necessarily perfect either, because Trace of Earth is worth far more than what you could sell it for on the marketplace, right? So, you know, there was that aspect to it too. But again, we're still talking about really small amounts of money. This is not insane, guys. It's still not insane, even considering what I just told you. And that each Trace of Earth was worth more. You could make it into more than you could sell it for in the market. It's still just like nothing, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
And then removing that market value from the account. The idea that someone would intentionally exploit the worker system and only get 8.5 million is very strange. Most veteran players make more than that from their node empire in a single day.
Correct.
Yet after months of purposely cheating, this person only came away with 8.5 million?
Precisely.
And then Drimlock hits me with this one on Twitter.
It's old tea that is now new tea. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is why our CMGM team doesn't communicate on Twitter, and it makes you thankful that Ronan doesn't understand how to use Twitter. Because he's stupid. Also, I love him.
238k. This
This person got banned because they had 238,000, not million, not billion, 238,000 silver on their account that was extra on accident.
player was banned for 72 hours and had 200
Good riddance. I love how petty the
Just
video community
resubscribed for
is.
5 months. Rip Bozo game cooked.
I love how, yo, TKNT, welcome back for 5 months, man. I appreciate you. I love how the community's just like, looks like a cheater to me.
Just resubscribed for
Get
5
him!
months. Rip Bozo game cooked.
138k.
It's about sending a message. My dude, he probably did this on accident. This is probably just a player. This genuinely, like this amount of silver, what are we talking about? This person accidentally did what amounts to a bug in the game. Let's be honest. Who's ultimately responsible for this bug even being in the game? Perlibus. Okay. This kid was just playing the game and he thought he didn't have a worker on a node and he put it on there and then later he realized, oh shit, I f***ed up, right? And like he f***ed up, bro. Like this is clearly a f*** up. He's not. This does not look like he's doing it intentionally.
Removed from their account. That's pennies. That's nothing. If I had an item in my inventory worth 238k, I probably wouldn't even bother to vendor it. I would just trash it. Banning someone for intentionally exploiting for 238k is like arresting someone for robbery because they picked up a quarter that fell out of someone's pocket.
This is why we love Moreland. This is why we love Moreland, bro.
Does anyone who works for this publisher actually play the game? Some poor Steam player probably glitched out a second naive worker on the Olive Knoll in Olvio for 2 weeks.
Actually, you're thinking of Costa Farm. That's what you're, yeah. It's not, yeah, that's the note. Okay.
And Kikala's over here saying,
Nope, this could not possibly have been an accident, and we'd like to stress that our investigation was super duper extremely thorough.
Part of me wishes that Perlibus would be this stupid sometimes. Because then I could farm them like Moreland did. But they're just not this stupid. And that's for the best. I'm going to be honest with you. That is for the best. This is why, again, we don't have these problems nowadays because our CMGMs are not idiots. Like, although Ronan might not know how to type, he does understand how to punish cheaters and how to show mercy when mercy is due.
I don't even know what else to say about this. I've spent a fair amount of time complaining about publishers in the past, but at least there's some greed motivating their terrible decisions. There's nothing that can possibly explain this course of action besides complete incompetence on behalf of the entire team that took part in this investigation.
What investigation? They are, though. They didn't ban a guy that used Bluetooth keyboard for macro, or didn't they ban a guy because he used Bluetooth keyboard for macros? You're absolutely right. That was the that was the Korean CMGM team, which in many ways is just as stupid. They looked like clowns, and he got unbanned. Like almost right away because they didn't actually do an investigation, but it still wasn't as bad as this. In this, you have Cacao literally half the people got one punishment, half the other people got the other punishment. Then they come out and say our investigation was super duper thorough and couldn't have, like, there could have been no false positives. And then, like, we're going to unban Blade. Like, this is just a, like, at every available opportunity, they just picked the wrong path. Like,
wow. Anyways, in regards to Blade, I did ask him if I could post his support email in this video, so here it is. As you can see, about 50.
That's quite a bit higher than it was before, but like, let's be honest. If Blade did cheat intentionally, it's 50 million. It's like, back then that was like maybe 5 to 10 hours of grinding. That's it. That's it. 5 to 10 hours of grinding. Like, what are we talking about? This is a joke. The mappers, do you guys remember the mapping incident? Those people made hundreds of billions of silver. Hundreds of billions. Okay. Sure, it was more years, like it was further in the future, but it's nothing like this is night and day. We're talking about somebody that like Blade could have done this intentionally, right? Like whether he did it intentionally or not is kind of up for you to decipher because there's no proof either way, right? Like, do you believe him or not? It's kind of up to you. But like, even if you don't believe him, this is not a lot of money. This is like nothing, right? Like this is a joke. Some would say trillions. Oh, shut up. That's a digital member going, ban him harder. We love it.
Was removed from his account. This seems a bit high even for 1,000 cycles of Ancient Stone Chamber, but if they counted both of his workers on a chamber, then the value is close enough to fit as
Correct.
far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So it seems unlikely at this point that Blade had 2 workers on anything other than this one particular node.
Correct.
Now, whether he really did risk his account just for Ancient Stone Chamber, or whether this was an accident that he somehow managed to miss for 4 months, both explanations still sound ridiculous to me, but if Ancient Stone Chamber was something he left running on purpose, it doesn't really make sense for him to just be casually opening his worker window on stream.
True.
Remember, the previous theory here was that Blade cleaned up his other nodes off stream and just forgot about Ancient Stone Chamber, and that's how he was caught. But now we know that Ancient Stone Chamber was probably the only node that he exploited, so this explanation no longer really makes sense. I'm inclined to think that he is genuinely innocent, just very bad with his workers and extremely unlucky with how this all played out.
And it's entirely up to you to make the decision about whether or not he was guilty, because we have no evidence one way or another. It's entirely up to you, right? It is literally an opinion. It's not a fact at all. It's just an opinion, right? And my opinion is, I think he up, right? But like, it is what it is. It really wasn't that big of a deal, and I clearly still love him and support him regardless, because like, this is such a small blip on an otherwise untarnished record, in my opinion. I think that Blade did a tremendous amount of good for the Black Desert community, and that was not lost on me. I absolutely loved and appreciated the fact that he helped teach me the game. And that's why I've rated him like twice. And I've supported him as much as I can. Just because in spite of all of this controversy, and whether or not you think he's guilty or not is kind of irrelevant, and whether or not I think he's guilty or not is kind of irrelevant. He did so much good for the community. It just didn't matter.
I think the bigger takeaway...
It's such a big... We're talking about it 8 years later. Not we, he.
Here, and something that should really bother anyone who cares about this game is how bad of a job Cacao has done with handling.
Yeah, okay, so we've covered it. This is the Moreland video here. Now we're going to go back to watching. That was the context for the Blade video. This video now came out 23 hours ago. We're going to start from the beginning. This is literally... This is in reference to drama that happened 7 years ago.
Hello, originally this was going to be a video just for my Discord announcements, but I'm putting it on YouTube just so I can be tracked better. So basically, I'm creating a channel inside my Discord. It's under the hobby section, and it's called...
This is not a lot of silver.
Lushulks just resubscribed for 12 months.
It's so weird how this is still a thing. It's still a thing because he's still making content about it. He's still talking about it. Like, what are we doing? Right? Like, why are you... This is 7 years ago. Like, you got to stop talking about this shit. Nobody cares. Right? Lucian, welcome back for a full year, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting me.
Just resubscribed.
Everybody that's coming back, everybody that's come back for a full year is actually coming back on the anniversary of my huge controversy in the game as well. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in this video as he elaborates.
2 workers, 1 node venting. Now, I'm probably going to be using that primarily to blow off some steam,
Uterus,
post some old
exactly.
screenshots, and all.
Totally unrelated note, in Throne of Liberty, you can run Amatoy missions on 2 separate servers simultaneously using your daily transfers. You're not helping! Shut your mouth! God damn it, Marlon, shit! It was just way too good of a reference. I just can't. Did anybody tell Blade that yet? See, that is how you should handle shit like this. Blade was involved in controversy. Yes, he should have just embraced it. Honestly, I'd have published a video. I'd have made a node worker empire guide about the entire situation. People memeing on me, left, right, and center. Reddit's going up in flames. You come out with a node worker empire guide the next day. That shit would have hit.
All that.
It would have made people laugh it off and people would have moved on.
But I'm inviting you guys into the conversation one more time, where if you guys have any questions that you're not sure of, like why was there a blue worker? Did he have green workers? Why does he claim he didn't see this? Did
It's
he get banned
2024!
multiple times for the same thing. These questions basically have come up hundreds of times, thousands probably for some of them, and I've been answering them just constantly since 2017. Okay.
Stop answering them. That's it. Blade, you should know there's always going to be people that don't like you. There's people that don't like me. Okay? Lots of them. There's people that don't like Moreland. There's people that don't like Choice. Shit, there's people that don't like Biceptimus Prime because he's too positive. People comment on his videos. Verdict. Verdict. I love how Verdict's just like, I'm like, there's people that don't love me, and Verdict's like,
back when I was a gamer and a streamer. Why this is relevant now is because as recently as this Saturday in 2024, I was watching a video for the first time where it was a very flattering video about being a fan of my content, and yet he thought I was guilty of exploiting. And this is a friend.
he's talking about me. And he's talking about this video from a year ago. When I had just started YouTube, this is the video he's talking about.
It's a big content.
And I explained everything that I talked about back then. Like I explained it. Like I think I went through it in the video. I think I even may have pulled up the Moreland vid and explained it back then. And I explained my stance on it. And that, you know, like that's just kind of what I think about it. And he's like upset.
Creator, and he and I are planning on doing an interview in the next month. And I realized that there are still these huge content creators, some of them that I didn't really know about in the last maybe 2 years.
That's me because I just showed up. Hi, I'm new here.
Valkyrie just
think I'm guilty of
resubscribed
what
for
I'm
6
innocent
months.
of. And
Like he's upset that I think one way or another. And again, I would love to have him on the show to do an interview to talk about it because let's be honest, this drama is better than anything that's currently going on in BDO anyway, so we might as well talk about it. You know what I mean? At least we're not dooming about Perlibus this time. Like this it is what it is. But like, I think that it would be really cool to interview Blade, talk about the incident, the impact it's had on his life, and then talk about where he's at now and his kind of thoughts on it, and then give my 2 cents on it as well. I think it would be cool because, like, again, I don't think that anybody really cares whether he cheated or not. It's not a 1v1. Guys, it's not a 1v. I'm not DFSing him, okay? Like, it's just not even a question. Plus, I would win because he's still wearing a dandelion. That, regardless, like, I think that it would be a great interview. It would be a lot of fun. It'd be good content. But, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether or not he cheated 7 years ago or not and made an extra 50 million silver. No one gives a shit. But, like, we do care about the impact that it had on his streaming career.
in addition to that, my parents are still getting phone calls from people trying to find out where I live. It's really ridiculous. And so
That's what happens. When you post public videos on the internet, there's always going to be people that are crazy to try to up your life. That's what happens. Okay? Like, and at the end of the day, you knew that and still did the job anyway. We all know the risks. You think that I didn't have this issue? I got fired from my job over this whole thing because there are crazies out there. Because there are crazy people on the internet that didn't want me doing what I'm doing. Joke's on them, I'm still here. Being able to manage all of that hate and those people with mental fucking illness, that's part of the job. It's not a basket of roses. The job, you have a lot of hate all the time that you're gonna have to deal with. And I'm sorry, but that's just part of this. I'm not sorry. You get to stream video games online and play video games for a living. Your job is awesome, but every job is going to come with its problems. And when you post public videos on the internet, you're going to get a public response, regardless of whether or not you think that that response is positive or negative. Like, not every response to my videos is always positive either, as we're going to find out in a few minutes here when we watch yet the next video. But like, it's shitty that he's got people calling his parents and stuff, right? That's shitty, right? Like I've had similar issues. I don't know if anybody's actually contacted my parents because I'm pretty sure my dad would shoot somebody if they walked onto the property. But like, absolutely, my life was turned upside down when I got fired. Like when I got fired, I had millions of people tear up my house. Or tear up my life. Like, turned it on its head. Lawyers are calling me. People are investigating. Journalists are calling me. Other content creators are trying to talk to me about it. Everyone drug my life through the mud. It is what it is. But, like, that's part of the job. It was really violent and it really sucked. But, like, you know, you get through it. Millions. Yeah, millions. Like, it was trending number 4 on Twitter or 5 on Twitter or some shit when it happened. It was big.
So I started this documentary effort to kind of have a comprehensive, definitive guide of this is all the things that have happened. I have an audio interview with GM Rotaz, the lead GM who actually banned me. I have a video interview with the CEO of Pearl Abyss / Cacao, which was amazing. Now that already hit my channel, obviously, because that's so important to get out immediately. But this crafted project has taken years really to gather up all of the pieces.
Wait. Where's this interview with Rotaz? Did he push that? Did he put that on his channel? Did he streaming video again? February 12th, Tours 1 No Drama. He never published that interview. So let me get this straight. You interviewed a CM from 7 years ago, or a GM from 7 years ago, to prove yourself innocent. Bro, nobody gives a shit. And you're going to post this now? No one cares. That's the JJ. No. He said GM Rotaz, and then he talked about JJ separately. There's JJ, and then there's Rotaz.
A video interview with the CEO of Pearl Abyss. And so I started this documentary effort to kind of have a comprehensive, definitive guide of this is all the things that have happened. I have an audio interview with GM Rotaz, the lead Rotaz.
See, he's got an audio interview with Rotaz. I've never heard that before.
Lead GM who actually banned me. I have a video interview with the CEO of Pearl Abyss / Cacao, which was amazing. Now that already hit my channel, obviously, because that's so important to get out immediately. But this crafted project has taken years.
Yeah, so this is the CEO one, but the Rotaz one I don't think is here. And like, not that anyone really cares anymore. Again, he should have just moved on from this. Part of the reason that this ruined your streaming career is because you allowed it to ruin your streaming career. No one really gives a shit. No one cares. It was like 50 million silver, as Morlin tried to help you with. Like, no one cares. But like, you allowed this to ruin your career because you keep talking about it. And like, people love antagonizing you for it, and they know that it gets a rise out of you. And that's the problem, is you're just way too nice of a guy. You're just you're a good guy, and you just gotta stop being a good guy to some people on the internet. Yeah, roll with the punches.
Really to gather up all of the pieces. And I really just dropped the project as it didn't seem very relevant. It seems relevant again, especially going back through some of my old messages where the claims are that basically they'll never stop trying to ruin my life and make my life worse. That
They're not going to. They're just like the people that hate me are never going to stop trying to ruin my life. That's why I just bought 2 shotguns. You can keep trying. Good luck.
Literally never relinquish this. So I was more than, like, I don't know, 80-90% of this done the last couple of years and just never went back to it. It's very emotionally overwhelming. And so to just close out that piece of my life, I need to finish this project. And so I'm inviting you guys basically into the conversation, whether you hate me or love me, or you're completely confused or completely enlightened on all these aspects of it. If you have any questions, I just want to make sure that those go into this documentary.
No one cares. If somebody hates you, Blade, they've already made up their mind about hating you. And it's not going to change. It does not matter. I'm going to bring up a controversial person right now. I'm going to type his name, and everyone's immediately going to get triggered. Are you guys ready? And there's going to be a lot of people that love or hate this person. There are crazy amounts of people that feel like they hate Neptunes. Who is that? You live a better life than the rest of us because you live in the dark, and I'm going to do you a favor by letting you live in that space. You're welcome. But like, this is an example of Neptunes is an example of somebody, Neppy Weppy, that's right. We love Neppy Weppy. Of somebody that understands that people are going to hate him no matter what he does. Okay? Because he's a piece of shit. And he just lives with it. Doesn't give a fuck. Does not care. Okay? It's almost insane how little he cares. And his arch nemesis, these two peas in a pod. Okay? And you might hate these because they're both idiots, okay? And they're both assholes, all right? But you can learn from them as a content creator because both of these guys are shining examples for how little it actually matters when somebody on the internet hates you. Okay? There's always going to be people with mental illness on the internet. That's just always going to be the thing. And they're always going to figure out ways to hate you. One way or another, they're going to hate you for one thing, or there's people that hate choice. There's people that hate Biceptimus Prime. As reasonable as those two content creators are, and as positive PMA as those content creators are, there's still people that will find reasons to hate them. Do you think that Choice and Bicep lose sleep over that? No. Hell no. I used to lose sleep over people hating me on the internet, and now I sleep better knowing that people do hate me on the internet. Those are my most avid viewers. Thank God. Otherwise, I would make no ad revenue. I'm confident Sony owns PA stock. There it is. And their verdict, I'm like, yo, people hate Biceptimus Prime. Verdict's like, hi.
Miss a Bumblebee just resubscribed for 12 months.
No, I love him. Sure. Yeah. Why do you think he owns PA stock then? Rapalus. Yeah, there's people that hate Rapalus too. Why? Because he wins a lot. You know what I mean?
So many things.
It's too late. We're already on the case. That's right. Sick 'em, boys.
I want it to be kind of a definitive guide. In the past 2 years,
Bicep isn't a content creator. He's a PA marketing agent. I'm sorry. I gotta do that. I gotta pull. I'm so sorry. First of all, that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's always gonna be people that hate you, no matter what. Okay, that's just the way that it goes. But I also just I just want to play this one thing real quick. Dick That's all right. I had to. Okay.
I've called over a dozen lawyers trying to actually sue Kakao Games for defamation of character. None of them would take it on contingency, which meant I had to wait until I could afford to pay a lawyer's hourly rate to actually pick up this case against Kakao Games. But basically,
he absolutely has a case for defamation. It's not even a question. He absolutely has a case, especially against Kakao, right? Like, they absolutely hurt his career. They absolutely did damage to him, and he could sue him. Can we crowdfund his case, chat? Your community can do that. You're more than happy to promote that, and I will watch you promote that. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait for that. But I'm gonna be honest. He can sue them all you want. You can sue Kakao Games all you want. It's not gonna change public opinion. You could sue them and you would win. Blade would absolutely win a defamation case. It's not even a question. For sure, he wins a defamation case against Kakao Games. It's not going to change what anyone thinks about him. Doesn't matter.
basically, I was a streamer for maybe 10 years or so. And you can see my trajectory of followers go up to 42,000. I get banned in July 12th, 2017, and they just freaking stop right there.
Okay. All right. So 500, 460, 476, 375, 540. July, he gets banned, and he goes right back to 443. But you'll notice he kind of hangs on here, but he just keeps talking about it, and he's playing other games. Look at this. Only Black Desert Online, 790 viewers. Really good. Next month, 2 different games, half the viewership, still really good. But like, when you go to a new category, you're going to have half the viewers that you had in your original category, and that's if you're lucky, right? And then, but he kept talking about it. He's still playing, what is it, Path of Exile? I can't read but 269, then back up, right? Like, it looks like he's recovered. He's over 400 average viewers, which I just want to remind everybody that in 2017, 400 average viewers was like, holy shit. That was a crazy amount of viewers back in 2017. He was doing fine. But like, he just never let this shit go, and eventually people just stopped watching him. Right? And you'll see that he's playing other games too. And he's got half the hours. Yeah, but like you can see he's still gaining follows through these months, right? Like, guys, even in the month that he got banned, he still gained 1,200 follows. Do you understand that, like, this was like painted as like a catastrophic fallout? He should have lost thousands of follows, like 10,000 follows, if it's as big as it. But it wasn't actually that big of a deal, and you can see that because he's still gaining followers, even when it happened, even in the midst of it happening. He's still gaining followers and subscribers. It didn't matter. Like, he started playing other games, and that's why he started struggling here. Like, yeah, the controversy absolutely hurt him, but it wasn't the controversy that killed your streaming career, Blade. You did that. You chose this. You were playing solely Black Desert Online, basically through these months here, and then you played other games because, you know, you felt that the BDO community had forsaken you a little bit, and admittedly, you were kind of right about that, but you're still gaining follows. Playing other games, you still had viewers playing other games. It didn't matter, right? And like, through here, you're still over 400 viewers, and then like, you start branching out even more, you're still gaining follows. All the way through here, you're still gaining follows. Like, it's still net positive. But the fact that you keep talking about this and publishing videos on it, and you won't stop, like these people in chat, you just ban them. If people keep bringing it up in your chat, just start banning people. It's literally just that simple. But you just kept talking about it and addressing because you wanted everyone to love you, and that's just not how content creation works. Here, he finally starts losing follows right here. But because look how little he streamed this month. Probably has a lot less to do with him playing another game or any of the controversy, and more to do with like, okay, yeah, right? Like 594 follows, right? Like, look at this. 293 average viewers across, and he had max viewers 955, 120 hours. That's really good, guys. This is 2019. Okay, Twitch is still like smaller at this point. These are good numbers. These are really good numbers.
There, it's a plateau. I mean, really, it goes down. I lost 90% of my financial support, and regardless of how much I liked gaming and tried other things, I couldn't financially make it as a Twitch streamer. It never happened for me. And so this did destroy my career, and it did basically.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if 790 average people are delulu about content creators and how much money that content creators make. You can ask Marlon. You can ask me. You can ask like Blade or whatever. You're not making a whole lot of money, okay? Unless you're quadra-digit multi-thousand, you're not making a crazy amount of money. You're making more money than a teacher, but you ain't making a crazy amount of money. Even at 790 average viewers, it's really not doing like you're like, okay, you could just go to college and have a career and make more money. And that would be a way more stable job with way less hate and backlash. It's just the truth. Like, like it's just rough.
Basically equate 5-6 years of extreme effort.
Great Depression runs, yeah.
Amount to very little. So I'm essentially just going to be venting myself in this Discord channel as I come across these different screenshots and things. This is interesting because this was the state of the game before I ever got.
Okay, so this is supposed to show that he's getting a lot of hate, I suppose. Let's go ahead and read this real quick. Right, you piece of trash. But what you have done to this game and the market and emo, in my opinion, is a form of griefing. So now I hate you. I despise you. You didn't need that many stones. You did it purely to the marketplace and then profit while everyone else suffers. You piece of trash. I'm gonna be honest. That's pretty mild. Like as far as things go, I'd be honest. Like that ain't even. I wouldn't even consider that bad. Is it too much? Of course it's too much, but this person has mental illness. I'd be upset. That's because you don't understand how to handle negative criticism. Okay? This is nothing. Are you kidding me? I could go through the comments on some of the videos, the hate videos that have been made about me, or even my own videos, and find shit worse than this. Right? I had somebody say something about me in Throne and Liberty that was way worse than this already, because they came over from the BDO community and they were like, we farmed their asses into the ground. We giga farmed them. And they were like, oh yeah, well, you talk to minors. Like, yeah, whatever, loser. Nobody cares. You just lost and can't handle it. Like, that's just how it goes. Like, no one gives a shit, okay? Dracker Dak, thanks for the Prime sub, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bro wouldn't survive a COD lobby. Whoa. Yeah, no, guys, this is what you deal with every day. Like, if you're a larger content creator, you're gonna deal with people just making shit up about you. You're gonna deal with people that hate you for the sake of hating you. You're gonna make, like there's people that will just float shit out of thin air because they're upset that you beat them in a video game. Or they're upset with their video game and they see you and they're just going to take all that anger out on you because they can't take it out on Pearl Abyss. Try being a League player. Seriously though, I had more bad stuff said to me in my League of Legends games than this. For sure. Before I was a content creator. Acid86, thanks for the Prime sub, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you. Like this is just hate, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah.
You get offended by this, you shouldn't be a content creator. Well, here's the thing. Hate scales with the level of content creator that you are, right? And like, if you have a few hundred average viewers, like the amount of hate that Neptunes gets is like kind of right in line of like where he is as far as a content creator. But now compare this to how much hate as someone like Asmongold gets, to use an extreme example, right? Asmon gets obnoxious amounts of hate, insane all the time. And lately, like his hate, like the last day or so, getting banned on Twitch, some of that is definitely warranted, right? But like, you know, you get death threats and shit. It kind of scales as you get bigger as a content creator, so you will get more hate because it logically follows that out of every 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers that you get, you're going to get at least 10 to 15 to 20 people even, or even 100 people, if your content is controversial, that hate you and want to see you die. I'm not joking when I say
just
die.
resubscribed for 8 months. Hi, Blue. Hope you are doing well, Blue Squad love.
Striker, welcome back for 8 months. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, my only hater is Blue Squadron. It's rough out here. Shut up. Literally no one cares about your opinion. Okay. Anyway.
Band, you can kind of just see the community reaction to me before, which kind of shows how this goes. But I want to keep this video short. I'm inviting you into the Discord conversation so that I can understand what the additional confusion is. I have a lot of chapters in this video. I should have gotten it done years ago. It was very overwhelming. I've enjoyed my life in Hawaii in the last couple of years. I'm going to knock this thing out over this week or so, this next week. And basically, I can mentally put this in my past. I can finally get beyond.
Blade, if you just want to come on the show, I'd be more than happy to interview you and have you present all the evidence and do everything. Say your piece. Say your piece. If you truly think that will help, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to make people hate you any less. It's not necessarily going to make you love you anymore. Okay. It is what it is. I love you to death. I will support you regardless of any of this shit because you've done a tremendous amount of good for the community. Doesn't matter. It really does not matter. It's a trap. Ghost Rags goes, it's a trap. Ghost, the difference between Blade BoQuest and you is that Blade's not an idiot. Okay? He made a mistake and he still keeps reliving it. That doesn't make him an idiot. It makes him traumatized. Okay? He can get past this. All right? I wasn't exploiting. Actually, you were exploiting the TOS of Twitch. So, shut the fuck up. Okay. But I think that again, Blade, if you want to come on the show and like explain all this, you're more than happy to, but please understand that I think that Blade, sincerely, if you started streaming BDO again today and you wanted to be like take it seriously and make guides and like take it seriously, I think that you would be welcomed with open arms by the whole community. Myself, Choice, Biseptimus, Frosty, right? Janice, everyone would raid you, and I think that you would be extremely successful doing it. You know why? Because none of this shit matters. We love you. It doesn't matter. Sincerely, what someone thinks about this, and that's what you need to wrap your head around, doesn't matter. Okay? People think what they will about me getting fired from my job. Some people say I deserved it. Some people say I lied about it. Some people say that I didn't get fired at all. Some people say that like and then there's people that agree with me. Like there's people on the other side of the fence. There's any range of people. I just don't care, right? Like I just don't care. We just moved on, and it doesn't come up except when people want to make fun of me, and that's totally fine. You have to be okay with people making fun of you about it, and once people see that, I think that you will relax. They will relax, you will get far less hate, and everyone will move on with their lives.
On this. But really what brought it back for me is the fact that my friends and big content creators who I plan to do an interview with
He's talking about me.
Are still being deceived by the lies of the community. And
not being deceived by the lies of the community. I watched the Moreland video. I saw it was posted on Reddit. I heard your take on everything because God knows, and I saw your JJ video as evidence on stream. You can see I'd already watched it. And I still was like, yeah, I don't know. I think he did it, but you know, it is what it is. I don't really give a right? And everyone's going to make up their mind on it. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. You made like 50 mil and they took it away from you. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. None of this matters. For fuck's sake, let's just move on. You're a phenomenal content creator. Just focus on that.
thinking that I was guilty.
Hope you saw this video and ignore the haters. Because as you said, every time there's haters out there, even on your family. So it's normal to be there, stranger haters. Yeah. So like I said, there's always going to be haters. And I'm not condoning the people with mental illness on the internet. Those people. We all know who we're talking about, right? The people that they got to bring real life into everything. You know what I mean? They got to make up accusations for people or come after people in real life. Like, those people are the worst people in society. Those are the horrible human beings. But they're there. And sadly, because of the internet, they have a voice. He won't make it if he doesn't learn to move past things like this as a creator. Exactly. Blade, you went through something that I would consider much more mild than what I went through. You didn't have your professional career completely destroyed because you were a content creator. Okay. You had 2 workers on a node. Like, it's not even comparable. They're not even like a measurably like the same thing. And if I can grow past my like serious controversy, you can grow past this too. You could be very successful. You just have to move on. And when somebody comes into your chat, you meme on it. You know what I mean? You could have made a video that had like 6 workers on one node and been like, check out this new worker empire guide I have, guys.
Guilty when I never was guilty. So anyway, join the Discord, join the conversation. Let me know your questions. And, you know, sorry to drag up a bunch of drama, even though you guys live on drama and video especially. However,
caught. And everyone that is watching the video right now on YouTube or live on Twitch is also caught. Okay? We're all caught. Verdict, you're caught too. You're here too.
I just need to put this behind me, and the only way I can do it is by finishing like this guide with all the way I want to edit it, and then I can close the chapter myself. And
it should have been a 3-second video of him saying we should have had 3 workers. See, Zethian gets it. That would have been fantastic content creation. This 2 workers, 1 known ruined my life, but it's not gonna, or it's ruined my career, but it's not gonna ruin my life. And then the video is just him going, so you can actually put 3 workers on the node if you do this. That shit would have eaten. That shit would have eaten. Like, man, that would have been good, bro.
that's what I have to do. So if you guys are interested in dredging it up one more time, 2 workers, 1 node venting, new Discord channel.
My dude. You see, look how unhappy he is. He's really upset. And I'm sorry, Blade, that I caused you upsetness. This is the video here, guys. Support Blade. Okay. You can make your own decision for something that happened 7 years ago. No one really gives a shit about this stuff, okay? But like, this guy is a phenomenal content creator. And he made the formative content. Remember, guys, this guy made like the worker empire guides that I use to make my worker empire guides today. Okay. This guy used to be the guy that everyone went to for this advice on this kind of stuff. And I learned from him. Okay. And so like, if you guys want to put 2 workers on 1 node, let me just show you how to do that real quick. You know what I mean? So I'm going to let this worker run out of stamina. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Would be crazy. Holy shit. Check the comments for Trep. Blade has been 7 years trying to convince Trepex of the world to stop trolling him. Dude, Blade BoQuest goes live in our category a year ago. I'm not joking. I watched it. That's where that React video came from. This video that I made about Blade that he's talking about here. In that stream, Trep comes into his chat. He hasn't been live for like a year and a half. I mean, he hasn't been live for like an hour and a half. Okay. Trep comes into his stream. Hey, Blade, really big fan. Really excited to see when your next Worker Empire guide is coming out. I can't wait to restructure. It's just, I'm not joking. I know, because I watched it, dude. Like, I watched him say it. Like, the dude is crazy. Like, and to be clear, that's Trep. You got to appreciate Trep for Trep. He's just trolling your ass for the sake of trolling your ass. Okay? Like, we have people in the community like Hamzy who you join the AOS call and they're like, turn off comms. And you're like, no, I'm streaming, man. It helps my content. And then he's like, I'm going to say the N-word. And you're like, okay, I'm sorry. You know, like, you're always going to get hate. Okay? You're always going to get hate on everything. People are always going to meme on you. It doesn't matter. Okay? People meme on Akari, and he never really did anything wrong. People meme on me all the time. I've done plenty of things wrong in my career. People meme on Zethian for being a idiot. There was a beefer that tried to start shit between me and Zethian recently. And do you know what Zethian did? Like an adult, he reached out, was like, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is what I actually think. Here's the full context." Didn't want there to be. You know why he did that? He's an adult. And I was like, "Okay, bet I'll ban him the next time he comes into my chat." And I did. Because he came back with Zethian trying to clip Zethian out of context again, and I was like, "Yeah, this shit." And I just banned him. Because he's just trying to start shit, bro. They're just shit starters. They just do this. They try to clip you in the most egregious way possible, and then they do that. Is it Sork? I am not at liberty to disclose the person's name, but it rhymes with Repix. Okay. You smell you. I love Block Jump. I haven't seen Block Jump. No, why is it that Block Jump only ever enters my chat when I'm watching some drama video? I swear to you degenerates. Zethian's only ever here when I'm watching a drama video too.